Hello folks, so today me and Jake are at Knockshinnoch Lagoons at New Cumnock and we're here in mid-April. And what makes this site quite interesting is it's gone through quite a lot of regeneration. So this was an open-faced coal mine, and so when we're going around today, what we'll really be looking at is how this site has regenerated. And we'll be looking for kind of wildlife, so this is a wader and bird sanctuary that a lot of birds stop over here on migration, so we'll be looking out for those as well. So just down here guys, what we found is actually a small white, which is also sometimes called cabbage white, but that encompasses a lot of species. And actually these are just coming out, so this is probably one of the first days that the small whites are out. So, and these eat brassicas, so your cabbages and stuff like that. And off he goes. Just down in here, you can see this plant in the water. This is one of the starworts, also called calictri, and this is a very difficult genus to identify. You actually identify them by the seeds, so it's quite a difficult plant to identify to species, but fantastic for oxygenating the water, making the water more pure for wildlife. And this is often transported actually by birds, so the seeds actually get caught in the duck's down and is transported, which is quite interesting. Here at the lagoons, we're just going to talk about some of the common vegetation that's around here. So this lovely one down here with this beautiful purple flower, this is ground ivy, quite a common woodland plant but very much a coloniser. So this is one of the first ones to come back on undisturbed soils. And of course here we've got ground elder. This is actually a slightly toxic plant, so don't eat it. But it's quite a dominant plant here as well. And then of course we've got things like our nettles, Urtica dioica. Nettles get quite a bad press release really, but they are fantastic habitats for wildlife. I actually did my dissertation on true bugs, and do you know what their favourite plant of all the things I looked at was nettles. There was more species of bugs and nettles than any other plant. And of course it's not just great for wildlife. Nettles can be eaten by us, you know, nettle soup, really high in vitamin C, and it's almost like coming back as a miracle weed because it's really good for us as well. So next time you see nettles, I would say give it a second thought. So just down here folks, we've got these wonderful little wooden enemies, and these are really for me one of the great indicators of spring coming into summer. And these are actually more or less woodland indicator species, so if you're finding these, chances are it used to be a broadleafed woodland site. And I think it's quite interesting because in school anyway I was taught that anemones are animals, not plants, but then actually look, this plant is called an anemone. So we're just adding more confusion. So absolutely there's the anemone plant, but there's also the anemone animal. Yeah, so actually having exposed sandy habitats like this, it might not look great for wildlife, but here look, these are actually solitary bee nests, and solitary bees need sandy habitat like this to make their nests. So it's really important to have those different microhabitats in an ecosystem, because every niche is taken up. And just down here we've got this lovely little burn, and yeah, just another great little habitat here at Knockshinnoch Lagoons. So just here in this stream, what I found is this mayfly larva. This is a nymph, and this is really good indicators of clean water actually. So, you know, after this has been turned from a mine to a wildlife habitat, this is actually a good sign that the habitat is beginning to recover and the water quality is recovering, which is really quite good to see. So just up here, folks, what I'm seeing is a great red damselfly. Oh, there it is there, Jake, look. And this is a damselfly which are related to dragonflies, but not quite the same. And these have just emerged actually, so we're literally just seeing them as they've just emerged, so this hasn't long been out at all. And these are, again, great little predators. These will be eating all kinds of little mayfly larvae, and then they've emerged, and then literally they'll be out to mate and then they die. So they go through a year, maybe 2 years as a nymph, just to breed and then to die, which to me always seems like a bit of a shame. So just down here we found what's quite a common weed, some people call it. It's called colt's foot, and actually it's got a very nice tap root at the bottom that's quite sugary and sweet, and these to turn it into candy. So this is an edible plant, but this is very much a plant that's what we call a successionist. This is a plant that makes use of disturbed ground. It's one of the first colonisers of a disturbed area. Yeah, lovely little yellow flower there, look at that. So we might just talk a bit about some common tree ID, folks. So here, if we look at the buds, this here is alder. They've got that very distinct purpley sort of, you know, powdery buds on them there, and this is alder. And right next to it, we've got silver birch. And now there is two species of common birch, the downy and the silver birch. The best way is actually to feel the buds, because the silver birch's buds are smooth and the downy birch's buds are hairy. So that's how you can tell that. And then just here we've got dog rose, and just like your garden rose, it's got these thorns on it and these pinnate leaves, we call these. So yeah, there's some common trees. So here in this alder we can see two different kinds of catkins. They are past now, but we can still see the difference. And alders are actually monoecious, so they've got male and female flowers in the same plant. So here in this one we've got the males, that are nice long slender flowers, and then here the pine cones, they're the female flowers. So for those of you who are not aware, Knockshinnoch actually used to be an open-faced coal mine, and as a lot of these coal industries they went into decline and closed. So what's happened with this site is the Scottish Wildlife Trust have taken it and allowed it to regenerate into a wildlife habitat. This is a really great place for waders and stuff like that. But even here where the coal face was, if you look around it, you can see even in a short time span, a lot of these plants and nature's begun to regenerate, regrow here. I think this is really just a testament to how resilient nature is. So we've got the young trees like the birches, the alders, and we've got ground vegetation like your grasses and your heather growing up, which is a good sign. So nature finds a way. Yeah, so on this birch here we've got quite a number of lichens, and lichens are great indicators of good air quality. So once again showing that this site really is regenerating and going the right way. So there's a couple of types of lichen, and most of these are what we call fruticose lichens, one that are like kind of bedraggly. So this one here is actually called oak moss. I know it's in the birch, but that's just what it's called. And this one here we actually call beard lichen. It's almost like a beard. So yeah, it's quite good. So just down here, we just thought it was quite interesting. These are mouldies, molehills, and if you look at the soil, it's like rocks. It's like really brittle and dry. So I'm actually really amazed that there's even moles here at all. But if there are moles, then there's worms, and that's a good sign actually.
Okay, guys. So what we've come across here is just some rocks on the side of the path here. You can see just how brittle these are and how easy it breaks apart. You can also see in here it looks like plant material.
Yeah.
We believe this is actually part of the sediment built in, and it might be old fossilized plant material, which is very interesting here.
Yeah, very nice. So just down here we've accidentally disturbed a small nest of black ants, and these are really engineers of history in my opinion, because we did not invent farming. I think ants did, or the precursors to ants. And actually these ants, maybe not this species, but some ants farm fungus, they farm aphids, and these ones do farm aphids. Just ingenious eusocial insects. I think we've got a lot to learn from ants. Yeah. So I just thought it was worth mentioning that this kind of landscape looks very man-made, and of course it is, but there's actually a time in Britain's history where the land did look like this. Just post the Ice Age, the glaciers took away a lot of that sediment, and actually this is very probably similar to what Britain looked like at the end of the glacier, with these bare barren bits being colonised by the rough vegetation and the mosses and the birches. It's a very similar landscape. So right here we've got cuckoo flower, and this is the principal food plant of the orange-tipped butterfly, and they're just coming out just now. So if you want to find them, look out for this, because they'll be coming to the cuckoo flower. Beautiful. And we're here at, wait, is this out from? Are you filming this? Oh, we restart this. I'm not going to be able to film it. Yeah, oh yeah, look, Jake, there's a fish down there. Oh, I think it's a bit dead.
Just a tad.
A dead fish. Jake in his natural habitat. Shiver me timbers.